The Memphis Grizzlies are a pathetic basketball team at the moment. At the time of this video, they are currently 2-8 to start the season, which has included back-to-back blowout losses to the Dallas Mavericks and Utah Jazz. Even without Morant, they should be playing far better than what they are now. With the Western Conference being so stacked, you cannot afford to be this far behind. It doesn't matter how early it is. The Nuggets are dominating as expected, and honestly, I can't see a team beating them in any series except for maybe the Golden State Warriors. The Phoenix Suns have been doing pretty good when you take into consideration how much time Booker and Beal have missed, and the Warriors are looking elite as well. Then of course you can't forget about the Lakers and Timberwolves. My point is, the Grizzlies are completely falling apart, and I don't think there's any way they can fix it either. Now first, of course, we have to address the elephant in the room. Ja Morant is out with the suspension, but a couple of seasons ago they were 20-5 without him. Then all of a sudden it went to 11-10 last season, and then this year we see how it's looking already. For whatever reason, it seems like the Grizzlies are just going downhill as an organization. And for those who say when Ja Morant comes back everything will be fine, Ja can only do so much. While he is an elite player, he isn't Nikola Jokic, Giannis, or Embiid. Memphis is currently ranked in the 20s in points scored per game as a team. Now, we know Ja can certainly help with that when he comes back. However, the Grizzlies are also a painfully bad three-point shooting team, shooting around 32%, which has them ranked 25th. And Ja is coming off the worst shooting year of his young career. Last year he shot 30% on 5 attempts per game. He did shoot 42% in the series versus LA, but that was just a 5-game span. Teams who struggle to shoot the three at a high level usually don't win big games against great teams. Unless, of course, you have Giannis, Jokic, or Embiid who can dominate and rack up points while just solely operating on the inside. But why are their percentages so bad from three though? Well, for starters, their best shooter, Desmond Bane, has struggled severely from three to start off the year. He's shooting 34% on 9 attempts, which is a huge downgrade from the 40% he shot every single season he's been in the league. Now, again, I'll keep repeating this throughout the video. It's still very early and these numbers could change, but it doesn't change the fact that he's not shooting well. Luke Kennard is Memphis's other guard who, like Bane, is one of the best snipers in all of basketball. However, he's shooting worse than Bane. In the small amount of games he's played this year, he's shooting a terrible 26% from deep on nearly 6 attempts per game. When your two best shooters are shooting this bad, it's no wonder why they can't outscore teams. Their new point guard, Marcus Smart, isn't doing much better either, shooting a low 31%. But that's far less surprising because that's never really been his strong suit. On the bright side, the only two players keeping them afloat shooting-wise is Zaire Williams and Jaren Jackson Jr., who are both shooting above 36%. Not great, but still solid. And it's unlikely that Morant is going to be able to help in this area when he comes back. And it's even more unlikely when you factor in that he's gonna be a little bit rusty from being out so long. Some of these guys just need to start shooting better. It's really that simple. Another department that Ja can't help much in is rebounding. The Grizzlies are ranked 15th in rebounds per game, which isn't terrible, obviously, but they're 20th in offensive rebounds. So not only are they bricking a large amount of their threes, but they aren't grabbing the rebounds either, which is a recipe for disaster because this limits their second chance points and extra possessions. They're also one of the worst teams in the league at assisting to basketball and turning it over. But I'll give them a pass right now on those two things because those are two areas I think Ja could fix. But I think the biggest surprise to the Grizzlies team is how mediocre their defense is right now, being ranked 15th in defensive rating. I think it's safe to say when we heard that the last two Defensive Player of the Year winners were teaming up, we all assumed they would be a top 3 defense immediately. But that just hasn't been the case, which is quite odd. Now, Ja definitely isn't helping much on this end. And if they don't figure out things defensively, then it won't matter whether Ja Morant or his father, T. Morant, is playing point guard. You just can't be mediocre or average on both ends of the court and expect to win games. And speaking of defense, one player that they really miss on this end is Dillon Brooks. Love him or hate him, Brooks made the all-defensive team for a reason. The man makes it hell for any elite player to score on him. And he's off to a great start on that end in Houston as we speak, minus Steph Curry schooling him on that one possession. But in all seriousness, Grizzly fans are starting to see his true value. Now, obviously, Marcus Smart is a great defender, even better than Brooks, but Brooks might have been the better fit. He was a defensive stopper, an elite perimeter defender. Marcus Smart is more of a smaller Draymond Green. He anchors the defense and doesn't really take head-on matchups, nor is he the best one-on-one perimeter defender. You just can't have a guard and a center in Jaren Jackson Jr. both standing around the paint and expect players like Desmond, Bane, Luke Kennard, or Derrick Rose to play great defense against the opposing team's best scorers. The tandem of having an elite rim protector and an elite perimeter defender has always been the key to success. The Warriors have Draymond on the inside and Wiggins to play alongside Gary Payton II as perimeter guys. The Celtics have Kristaps Porzingis in the center and Drew Holiday along with Derek White on the outside. The 76ers have Embiid right in the middle, along with DeAnthony Melton on the outside. And of course, the Lakers have Anthony Davis in the paint, along with Jared Vanderbilt as the lockdown one-on-one guy. And the list goes on. Who knows though? Maybe they figure things out defensively and find a way to maximize Smart and Triple J on this end. However, at the moment, it's not looking great. All you need to know about their current defense is what head coach Taylor Jenkins said after a blowout loss to the Blazers. Defense absolutely failed us tonight. Highly competitive game. Tip your cap to the Trailblazers. They definitely made more winning plays than us. Way too many errors on our part. 24 fast break points for them, 23 second chance points, 50 points in the paint, 36 free throws. We still had a chance to win the game. Yeah, giving up that many points to the Blazers, of all teams, is insane. Memphis is supposed to be a playoff team, one of the best playoff teams, and the Blazers are in a rebuild. That just doesn't make sense. Another piece they desperately miss is Steven Adams, who recently underwent surgery for a PCL strain in his right knee. His loss could absolutely be detrimental to the team's future success. His rebounding and defense was a huge part of their success when he was on the floor. He is the best rebounder in the league, the best screen setter in the league, and he was kind of secretly one of the better paint protectors in the game as well. Now that that's gone, along with Brooks, it's tough to say where this team will be in a few months. Their replacement for him is Bismack Biyombo, who actually is a pretty decent backup. Now, he's nowhere near the player Adams is, but he does give them energy and life on both ends of the floor. It'll be interesting to see how he continues to fit moving forward. Now, they do have some solid pieces on the roster, such as Xavier Tillman, who does a lot of the dirty work down low, averaging 6 rebounds in 22 minutes per night. Although his offense is limited, he's a solid passer and roller to the rim, and on the defensive end, he's been one of the more versatile defenders in the league over the last 2 seasons. In last year's playoffs versus the Lakers, we saw how they took Brooks off of LeBron and switched Tillman onto him, which made a huge difference. So his value on both ends is noted. David Roddy and him are similar players. Both have a limited offense, but they do the little things well and really established a nice culture by working extremely hard on both ends. However, the Derrick Rose experiment is just He's shooting a horrific 32% from the field and 1.5 turnovers in just 17 minutes. And we also know he's not a good defender either, so that's that, I guess. All in all, right now, it's up to Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Marcus Smart to turn things around. Outside of Bane's inefficient scoring from deep, he's still having a pretty great season so far, averaging 26 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. It's clear he is the go-to scorer on the roster right now. Those are all-star numbers, but that means absolutely nothing if they can't win games. I personally think they're going to turn things around sooner rather than later. They just have way too many solid pieces and a pretty good coach to be as bad as they currently are. But their schedule for the rest of November is pretty tough, so we'll see how they withstand moving forward. Their leader, Ja Morant, is eligible to return December 19th versus the Pelicans. And if they want to maximize their chances with him, then it starts without him. It's important that they go on a good run in order to build momentum before Morant is inserted back into the lineup. But what do you think? Are the Memphis Grizzlies falling apart, or will Ja Morant's arrival be enough to turn the ship around? Let us know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.